Water levels are falling at a damaged dam in Northern California, and that's easing worries somewhat after nearly 200,000 people were ordered to evacuate their homes. The Oroville Dam is the tallest in the United States, and officials fear the damage could send a wall of water crashing into communities below the structure. CGTN's Mark New joins us live from Oroville with more. So, Mark, what's the very latest there?
Elaine, in front of the dam, actually, that has caused so much anxiety that led to the evacuation of nearly 200,000 people. Right now, the water is cascading over the emergency spill. You can see it moving at a rate of about 100,000 cubic feet per second. And authorities say that is a good rate, that more is actually spilling out than is coming in, which is good. But the trick is to do it in a way where you're not going to cause any further problems. Now, the original problem stemmed from the main spillway. There was a huge gash in it, therefore calling the emergency spillway into action. But that is essentially made of sediment, so erosion took place. Therefore, that created the fear that that would come crumbling down, and then that wall would come crashing down of water. So that's what forced the evacuation. But they said at this point, they are getting rid of the water at a good rate that puts it where they need to be. They want to go 50 feet lower, and that's what they're striving for. The sheriff actually said that they made the decision, and it upset some people because they only had about an hour to get out. But the sheriff clearly said that this was the right decision, that he had to be able to sleep at night making that decision. Let's hear what he had to say.
An important milestone in this situation that we've been dealing with is that there's no water is flowing over the emergency spillway at this time. That's an important thing, because our primary goal is to ensure safety of our community and the residents that we serve, and that is a big step forward towards that.
We came into town earlier today, and it was pretty much a ghost town. All we could see are authorities and media here. Some interesting evacuation procedures that had to happen. For example, inmates, 500 of them, in excess of 500, had to be shipped more than an hour away. So the challenge is presented here in a mass evacuation. Elaine.
Mark, any word on when residents can return home? As you said, nearly 200,000 people evacuated Sunday night.
There was actually a rumor spreading that they would be able to go home by 4 p.m. The authorities held a press conference earlier today and clarified that is not going to happen. They simply do not know when people will be allowed to return home. One thing they mentioned is they have to have a repopulation plan that sort of orderly brings people back to their homes. They don't want mass chaos, although there was mass chaos when people left, when they only had about an hour to decide to head out of town. One thing they talked about is the trust factor. There was actually a report earlier that said that in 2005, an environmental group actually challenged the re-signing of their licensing by saying that they should line it with a concrete structure. The water districts didn't want to pay for that, so that's created a lot of controversy. When the authorities were asked about that, they said they didn't know much about that. Elaine.
All right, Mark New live for us there in Northern California.